Hi, I'm Hilary Topper, and I'm the President and CEO of HJMT Public Relations. I'm also the host of Tech News Now, and today we have a really interesting and exciting guest. His name is Dr. Chris Brauer, and he's the Senior Lecturer, Institute of Management Studies, Goldsmiths, University of London. And he conducted a really cool a project called the Human Cloud at Work, and he used wearable technology on a sample group, and he's going to talk about his findings so far. It's preliminary, but he's going to talk about his findings on this episode of Tech News Now.
To kind of look at, what did we find in the early stages of the experiments. So we're working with 40 participants and 80 peers. We looked at productivity and performance, and the way we looked at that was by self-reporting and also peer review of the individual employees and their productivity, performance, alertness, job satisfaction in the workplace. Our key findings are some of them are statistical. It indicates that for those wearing the wearables, there was an 8.5% increase in productivity over the initial period of this preliminary study. There was a 3.5% increase in job satisfaction, and there was about a 9% decrease in alertness of the employees. In general, in what we call performance at work, which is a cumulative metric which reflects all three of those categories rolled up into one total, those that were active in the study, those that were wearing wearables, saw a greater increase in performance at work than those that were in the control groups, and also a lower decrease in their performance at work.
Did you also look at absenteeism and?
Yeah, so it was difficult. Like in the initial stage here, we had to work with many of the wearables. Obviously, they reveal when people are users. So we had them wear it. Other than the Genie Active, which was the wristwatch, they wore the devices only in the workplace when they were at work. And so when people would miss days out of the study, then they wouldn't be scoring their own productivity and performance, neither would their peers be on those days when they were there and active, then they would be.
Okay, good. Anything else you want to share about the?
Well, we found a lot of interesting things on the qualitative side. So we then asked a quarter of the participants, the active, out of the 40, 10 of them then blogged on a near daily basis about their experiences. And that's many of the most interesting results for us, because in that area we were able to get self-reflexive people talking about their experiences. And from that emerged a series of behavioral patterns of users of wearable tech in the workplace, which is, something that we're quite interested in terms of where the future of this might lie. And some of those things, like gamification, would indicate that there's a really strong desire to situate your data from your wearables in relation to your colleagues and your peers, and to understand how you're positioned. Other things would just indicate that people just wanted to know more about themselves, and that one of the main applications was just to theories that they had about their own behaviors, about their own actions, either validating or not the reality of those things in everyday life.
I loved what you said about someone who mentioned that they had a hard time coming to work at 9 o'clock. That 10 o'clock was a better time for them, and it all showed on the data. I think that was really interesting. Can you just tell us the three products that you used on these people? I mean, they all used all three?
Yes, they were either active or control on all three.
Okay.
So with the Genie Active, all of them wore that. That was our primary. That's a high-velocity accelerometer. It looks at light and temperature and sleep and movement. Using that is a research device primarily. That's not really a consumer device. That's designed to gather rich behavioral data about users. So we have a week in the life of each of the participants in the study. Otherwise, we use the NeuroSky MindWave, which is an EEG measuring electrical impulses, a headband that you wear that monitors your focus and concentration. Participants there would go through a series of activities, pattern recognition, math exercises, while their focus and concentration was being evaluated. The control group for that did breath awareness training, which is a well-established form of meditation, which they were able to use, which also, purports to enhance focus and concentration. So you were either in the control of that or you were in the active group. And then the Lumo Back is a posture coach. It's a device that trains and coaches you to improve your posture by vibrating when your posture is poor and syncing through Bluetooth with your phone. The control group for that went through a series of best practices around posture, and we're a series of exercises each day. So, again, in each of those instances, we typically would see that those in the wearables were scoring higher in the rolled up metric of performance at work versus those in the control group. We have to caution against a whole series of caveats. As I say, the study is very preliminary. The sample size is extremely small, too small to be able to come to any conclusive findings. And also, there's things like the Hawthorne effect, which says that just if you change something in the workplace, it's just the changing of it that will have an impact on workers. And that would seemingly be supported by the idea that those who had something change, i.e. they were wearing wearables, were scoring higher. So it's going to take a while before we can come to any firm conclusions, but it's been an exciting journey to date.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was great.